All right, guys, today we're going to talk about how to determine if you have a vacuum leak really fast. Let's get into it. This is going to be a little bit different. We already know what's wrong with this vehicle, but I wanted to use it as an opportunity to kind of teach you guys a really quick trick on how to tell, do I have a vacuum leak or is it something else? What normally will happen is you'll get somebody that'll say, like in this case, the person said, I'm getting bad gas mileage, it's just not where it should be, and they had a code in it. The code was for a lean running condition. All right, when you get a lean code, immediately what you're going to do is, and I'm going to go ahead and, I didn't turn on the...
This is a 2006 Silverado 5.3 for anybody's wondering, but this isn't just for...
Yeah,
this is a universal thing.
This is a universal thing. I mean, depending on the year of the vehicle and stuff, sometimes it will generally always work, but it might be more difficult on new vehicles. What I've got is the fuel trims pulled up. I'm going to go ahead and graph them. So we have our long term and our short term. We'll go ahead and start the vehicle up. So right now, vehicle's running. It's getting a little rough. We had already fixed this vehicle, and now I've re-broken it so that you guys can see how to do this. We can look right now, you can look at our fuel trims, how they are adding fuel right now. So again, you remember from other videos, we always add the two fuel trims together. So right now we're at what, 37, 38%, something like that. I believe that the long term on this vehicle actually tops out at 25%. I think it caps there. That's as high as it's going to go. And I don't know what the short term. Okay, short term can obviously go higher, so we can see that. All right, so we see that those trims, we're going to let them kind of even out real quick. So here's a scenario: vehicle comes in, you got lean fuel trim codes. You know, you hook the scanner up, you're looking at fuel trims, and the fuel trims are adding a lot of fuel. They're positive numbers. You're at idle. First thing you're going to want to do, you don't know at this point, right? Do I have a vacuum leak? Could it possibly be a mass airflow sensor issue? Could it be, it could be any number of things. Do I have a fuel pressure issue? Who knows? Go ahead and take the RPM up. So right now, I should have put the RPM on the screen, but I'm going to go ahead and take the RPM up. So right now, I'm sitting at about 1,500. Let's go up a little higher. Look at the fuel trims. Fuel trims are immediately coming down. And they're not going to come down to perfect, but they're going to come down. You can see they change substantially. If I go up more, dropping. Now if I let off, look at them go right back up again. If you do that, you've got a vacuum leak. That is the highest probability is, because I know I'm going to get comments, well, I had that happen once and you had some weird thing. I get it. The highest probability is you've got a vacuum leak. So you're going to go out, you can do a lot of things. What we did on this one was, because this is a lot of fuel trim, I just basically popped the hood and walked out there. Of course, you can smoke it. You might have an intake leak. Could be a very small vacuum leak, so the fuel trims aren't as high. This doesn't mean that the fuel trims have to be pegged out like that. They could be at 15, 16, 17%, and it comes down, which would be a smaller leak. This one, I just popped the hood, come over here. You can hear that. That's a pretty substantial leak. And rather than getting the smoke, I just kind of went in here and move stuff around, and this was literally the first thing I touched was this. Now you could have a purge valve issue, something like that, but I did that and I'm like, oh wow, that made a difference. Okay, sure, we'll go ahead and shut it off. Came in here, I heard that. All I did was come down here, pulled this, and I kind of got this out where I could get to it, and this came off so easy. I'm literally doing it how it came off. Cracking that tube. Obviously, this is a massive vacuum leak. This is easy to find, but this technique will work. It doesn't matter if it's a small intake leak. If it's got a vacuum leak, then at idle, your fuel trims are going to be higher. It's going to be adding fuel. But as soon as you come off of idle, right, and we open the plate, those fuel trims are going to start coming down more into a normal range. Again, they may not get all the way to normal, but they're going to come down. If you see them make a big correction back down to normal, you've got a vacuum leak. This was easy, right? But if you've got something that maybe doesn't just show up right away, go ahead, get your smoke machine out, hook it up, smoke the intake. You're going to find something. Another thing you could do is, in this case, you can't pinch off the purge valve. If you could pinch off the purge valve line, you would. You can't do it on a hard plastic line, but you could certainly unhook it, plug it, right? Did that do it? You know, so there's ways of finding these leaks really fast. The first step is, do I have a vacuum leak, or am I looking for something else? I've seen people go down way big rabbit holes checking fuel pressure, you know, whether fuel pressure is good and all this stuff, and it's like, okay, is it a vacuum leak? Well, I don't think it's a vacuum leak. And you saw how fast that was. That's how fast you should be able to determine if it is. Let's throw the other tube on here. We already have it. New tube. And you guys know it's going to fix it, because you saw the massive crack in it.
Now, what if it goes the other direction? Is that any type of indication for them, if anything?
If it goes what, rich, or it goes what? Oh, starts going more lean?
Yeah.
If it starts going more lean when you take it off of idle, I mean, obviously no vacuum leak. You've got something else going on. Then you're going to go into, you know, do I have a fueling issue, plugged injectors or something weird? You know, lots of different things then. Here they are. Now they're still going to be, just key on right now. Go ahead and start it up. Highly advise, don't clear the codes. You clear the codes or reset the fuel trim. Sometimes if you clear the codes, it'll reset the fuel trims. I want to leave them the way they are. They will self-correct. We're going to clear the code, but don't clear it until you see them self-correct. So again, we're adding these both together. So if we look at it right now, one's at minus 10, minus 11 right here. And then so long terms at 9, short terms at minus 7, minus 8. You see that if you add them together, they're coming right down towards 0. That shows you that this thing is fixed, right? Those fuel trims now, what we call total fuel trim, is very close to 0, hovering plus or minus 5% or so.
You want to give it gas and show them what it looks like?
Oh, absolutely. Yep. So now if we give it gas. Remember, I'm glad you said that. There are different fuel cells that this thing goes in, fuel trim cells. Notice that when I hit the gas, it went right back up to that lean deal, and then it started to correct itself. There's a lot of different cells that this thing can go in, so you want to go drive it so that the client doesn't have to deal with anything. It's going to, these cars, this vehicle is going to correct itself really fast. Some vehicles can take a long time to correct themselves. That long term might take a while before you'll see it immediately between short and long, but the long-term trend might take a long time to correct. This one you can see came down pretty fast. Then if we let off the gas, we can see we went through another cell, right? We went through another, it's going through all these different cells. Where's the throttle position, things like that. And now we see it's coming back and correcting itself again. So we're going to want to clear the codes. We're going to want to test drive the vehicle, make sure that we go through different driving conditions, just so the client doesn't have to deal with it. It shouldn't throw a code, even though it's, you know, got those different cells that are messed up. But once we clear the codes, it will reset those on this vehicle. Some vehicles you need to look at, how do I clear fuel trims? Because it could be that you have to go into a special function to clear fuel trims. Otherwise, it may just take a while for it to happen on its own. So, but that's fixed. Right? This vehicle's fixed. Really quick and easy to just determine what direction to go in, because you can spend a lot of time on lean conditions. Most of the time, lean conditions are a little easier to diagnose than rich conditions, but at least in my experience. But I want to determine, you know, very quickly, am I going down a vacuum leak, an intake leak area, something like that, or am I going down something else, sensor, you know, mass airflow, some other sensor issue, map, right? I mean, fuel injector issue, fuel pressure issue, that kind of stuff. If it's a vacuum leak, I'm putting the smoke machine on it generally, and I'm done, right? In this case, I didn't have to do that. There you go, guys. Nice, quick, to the point, easy. Hopefully you got something out of that. If you did, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, bell notification. Appreciate you guys watching. See you in the next one.